I probably, in my lifetime, more likely I'm probably never, ever, ever going to exhaust this subject. And neither is it ever going to be a shortage of people constantly asking me questions about biblical marriage or polygyny. And the reason being is because, while people are somewhat unfamiliar with the doctrine of it, the teachings of it, they are familiar with their lifestyle and the things that they've done. The majority of women who are married today, pretty much every one of them has been in a failed monogamous relationship that just didn't work at all. And I don't understand for the life of me why some things that people do, if it doesn't work, that people capitalize on certain issues and things, especially when it doesn't work. I mean, how many things can you think of that has ever happened in your life that just didn't work? I mean, okay, how many years you put into it, okay, how much energy you put into it, it just didn't work. But when we're dealing with polygyny, some people call it polygamy, it's about the man creating his family. It's about the law of Yah and the law of nature. And whatever the law of Yah says, he's not asking any of us for our opinions or our personal perspectives or theologies or ideologies. I can tell you right now, there are quite a few polygynous families in the ministry. And I'm saying that they're functioning. I'm not going to say that they're successfully functioning, just like monogamous marriage. There are a lot of people that are in marriage, but it's not a successful marriage. A lot of people are in marriage right now simply because they're children. That if it wasn't for the children, they would have been done dissolved it. That's why people get divorced after 25 years, because they're just sick and tired of each other. But I'm telling you, the main reason why people get divorced is not because of they're sick and tired of each other. It's simply because somebody don't want to do their role. One or the other party just simply don't want to do their role. And the majority of the time, according to the statistics here in America, 70% of all marriages end because the woman filed for divorce. All right? But anyway, let's go on. But most of our women today, here and now, that are so-called in the faith, most of them are Babylonian women. Right here. They may have been transformed, outward adorning, and have some aspects or have had some aspects of their mind transformed. But up here in the mind, they're still Babylonian. They're still Gentiles. They still are in direct opposition against the Most High Yah. It's just that they're doing it in a subtle way, flying under the radar perception. I'm going to tell you the reason why I know that. Because when you have a man that is embarked on and embracing his lawful biblical right in polygamy marriage and polygynous marriages and just the law of nature. And if you got a woman that is with him, set up with him, and she's doing everything she can in her heart to not trying to make it an environment conducive of happiness. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, my shires, they know this, but I need to communicate it with them more. I just need to sit them down and communicate it. There should be nobody outside of this home. I'm talking about my home, PastorDowell home. All of these sisters in this house right here, the Dowell house, they should be the best of friends because they're all conforming to my image. That's right. That's right. You follow me? They should be the best of sisters. They should have a relationship so strong and penetrable that nobody, I don't care who it is, a sister, anybody outside of this family could never, ever trump it. But I can't tell you that it's that way because it's not that way. Do they look like they're part? Sure they do. They're growing on to perfection because there hasn't been anybody else here in front of us to show us how. But for the most part, I can tell you right now that even in my own house, there ain't no concerted effort of everybody trying to put forth an effort of dying out to themselves and really, really, truly trying to be the example for all of Israel. And that starts with Mother Carol all the way down. All the way down. They're not really, truly doing it. They're existing in it. They have dug in their heels in certain areas, to show their own personal displeasure. Do they tolerate it? Yes, they do. Do they like it? Probably not. Do they would rather be in a monogamous relationship with me? I'm sure of it. Now, see, this is just facts. I'm not going to sit up and paint a picture and tell you that it's all hunky-dory, because, again, if I hit one area and tell you that, this is what people do to make it look like it's all that and it's just successful and all this, no. If you ever want anything to fail in life, especially when it comes to a kingdom and it comes to a family, all you got to do is just don't look at the man, look towards the woman. Because she is supposed to be the one that's supposed to be the one to conform to the image of the man. But women today, they're too busy in their emotions and in their feelings rather than the functionality. There's a reason why I keep talking over and over again, that when you look at this thing, you see this thing, all right? They're going to be judged on their roles just like I'm going to be judged on my role. And now I'm not telling you that it's bad, because it's not. It's just not where I want it to be. It's not where I want it to be. And I'm sure they have their own personal opinion stuff, but you're not going to sit up there and see me giving out accolades and telling you that this one is that, this one is this. You got to listen to my words very closely. When I give out accolades based on a person, I'm usually talking about their own merits and strengths. I'm not talking about how that they are simulating to me and being a good real and making it so that I can actually rise up and call everybody blessed, because I can't do that right now. I can't. And that's just a flat out truth. Polygyny is also about sister bonding. Them are supposed to be able to bond. It's about family. And in that family, you have a head in that family. And in that family, everybody should be actually having their desires to the head of that family. And the problem we have today is whenever a woman desires trump that of the head's desire, you're going to have trouble. And if you don't have trouble, you're going to have that silence. And that silence is I don't agree. Sometimes silence can fool some people and say that silence is consent to an agreement, but that ain't the way it is. I can tell you that right now. But again, we have women all in this ministry and men in this ministry, but I'm mainly talking about the women's side right here, because they are the ones supposed to be the guider of the house. They're the ones supposed to be the first line teacher of the home. They're the ones who are supposed to be able to teach the mothers, teach the younger sisters how to guide that house. They're the ones who's supposed to be able to make sure that man's enterprise, that man's business, that man's family is running on all cylinders and functioning on all cylinders at all times. And I tell it all the time that if any of them have a sister or a friend that's outside of this family right here that you closer to than anybody in this family right here, then that's broke. There's something wrong. And I'm telling you right now that you're out of order. And that's the way all men should be able to be able to preach and teach to their own families. But women are in polygyny today, but they're functioning in monogamy. That's exactly what they're doing. As long as I'm around, then it looks good. But when I go away, you'll know how well that they get along. All of them. I'm not just talking about my family. I'm talking about every family. You'll know how well that they get along and how well that they're really, truly trying to gel as a family. I'm not saying that they need to be up under each other's skirt 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, every second of every minute out of every hour, every day. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if you're more motivated, I don't care who it is, to go and do some activity or to go counsel or go to talk to someone else outside of this family, or your family, man, your Ishaiahs are more motivated to talk and counsel with somebody outside of this family more than in this family right here, you got a bad, broken relationship there. There's something wrong. And somebody is digging in their heels, showing you their disapproval while they're yet in it. Because they know that while they're in it, that hey, they're saddled up probably with the best man that they could get here on this earth. But I be damned if they're going to set up and change that monogamous mindset to a Hebraic Ishaiah mindset. They ain't all about that. I'm telling you right now. I say these things so that when you start seeing, you can see exactly what the hell is going on. Because we need to know these things. You need to see it. See, women are in polygyny, but they're not trying to sync themselves together at all. All the way across the board, they're not trying to sync themselves together. And they're not trying to come into harmony so that this man can accomplish what he needs to accomplish without stress, without strife, and without discord. I mean, don't you know, I as a man, I know who's for me. I know who's for me and who will just lay it to the line for me. I know even in my own house. I know in my own house that while those who will say the right words, they function in the right actions, but I know what their heart is. Not a one of them fools me in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And if I'm coming across this in a negative way, that's not what I mean. What I mean is just like a mother knows all of her children, I know all my child. I know every single one. Don't not a one of them fool me. Not a one of them in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Just because, they practice silence, I practice a silence too as well. And just because I'm silent on certain things don't mean that I'm agreeing either. Sometimes the world thinks that silence is a consent to agreement, but that's just not so. I'm just being real and trying to tell you exactly where it is. You see, today we have a problem because of rubbing elbows with the Gentiles in this world. There are too many women that are masculine and still have that man ruling spirit of that feminine spirit that are out there in that world. And man, if you're a good man and stuff, you have to understand there are some things you can tolerate in this world, but there are other things you simply don't have to tolerate. This ministry right here makes it very easy for people to function in their roles. It also makes it very easy for families or polygynous families or unions to dissolve too as well when one or all parties are not meeting the conditions of Torah. Now, the way it should be is that anytime somebody's added to the home, they should be coming to be a benefit. They should be coming to gel right on into this, sink right on into this to actually add value to the family. That's what it should be. I don't care who it is. Anybody comes into a man's household, I don't give a damn if you don't like what polygyny is. If you didn't like it, why in the hell you in it? Well, when I married you, you wasn't polygynous, but now, hey, you have an option. Go be monogamous. Go ahead and kick traces, get the hell on down the road and be monogamous. Now, will that cause hurt and pain? Sure it will. Why? Because it's got a soul tie. See, the problem is, and I keep telling y'all from the very beginning, and this is the reason why you want to raise your children the righteous way. When a man inserts himself into the woman and he breaks that hymen, all right, what happens is that man has went into a woman and she is being conformed to him. And when he ejaculates into her, he put his seed and blood into her. And from that point on, she is being changed to his DNA from that point on. And when you've had multiple DNAs inserted into you, you've had multiple personalities. And when you've had multiple personalities, you don't never know who in the hell at any given time is going to come up. I don't care if it's been 1 time, 2 times, or 100 times. It makes no difference. Anytime that there are conflicting personalities in there, it's going to come out. Because a lot of these behaviors that we see taking place today, they are not only learned behaviors, but they come through soul ties. And these soul ties have to be broken. Because a woman today, if she's saddled up with a man throughout all of eternity here on this earth as well as in heaven, and even though you don't think that your heart is being judged, it's being judged. Whatever you think you're hiding on this earth, it's open scandal in heaven. I can promise you that. So ain't nobody getting by. But through my own experience and doing many counselings and hearing a lot, the biggest trouble and problem we're having today in the ministry concerning polygyny is women not being the best friends they can be to each other and trying to get behind the vision of that man. Because after all, woman, you don't have a seed. You possess a seed. You're kind of like the earth. And the man is the one who planted seed inside of you. And then out of it, he produces himself. And he produces more and more of himself so that he can be fruitful and to multiply. You understand that? And that's why we're so broke today. All relationships. Now, I'm going to reiterate this again. I didn't say that my household is bad at all. It's not. It's just not to where I want it to be. They're not supposed to. I'm not here to please them. They're here to please me. That's the way that the book says, just like I'm here to please the Father. And in them pleasing me, they will be pleasing to the Father. Is that making sense? So that means there's a lot of will that has to be died out to. There's a lot of perspectives, a lot of things that's got to be changed in order to meet y'all's conditions. Today, we cannot build a righteous nation. And the reason why we can't build it is because there's a hell of a lot of discord, opposition and dissension that are in there secretly. Because, I mean, after all, a woman is designed to be monogamous. A man, he's polygynous. Whether he wants to, whether he likes it or not, he's polygynous. And I can tell you right now, when you got a woman that repulses against Yah's program, man, you need to know it. And women, you need to know it. She's not repulsing and fighting against you or the women. She's repulsing and fighting against Yah. And that's the truth. Why do you think that I get out here all the time challenging people from one end of this earth to the next? Where now the wells done went dry, it's done went silent. People will love to talk about PastorDowell and the things that I'm talking about and doing, but they don't ever want to do just a simple thing that they used to do in the days of the scribes and Pharisees, which is what? Face to face. Face to face. So I hope that some way, somehow, I've been able to stimulate thought, and I hope that some way, somehow, everybody is dying out to themselves and conforming and performing the perfect will of Yah is my prayer.